Frank Mcavennie has commented on the title race, and he's got some pretty controversial comments to say about the blue side of Glasgow. What's he got to say about the green side? Because they're not very good either. But anyway, I'm back to Fog Football, here to bring you all the latest Scottish Premiership news. Sadly, you know, none of the big boys are playing this midweek, so it's not exactly the greatest midweek of all time, but we do have our games. We do definitely have our games, and we'll be bringing you them on, I was going to say on telly. None of them are on telly, they're all on pay-per-view, I believe. And then next week you've got, like, what, Livingston against Motherwell, is it? It's the only Sky game when you've got Rangers away to Killie, Edinburgh Derby. I mean, the TV deal sucks, right? See, before we even get into Frank Mcavennie, who in the right mind would agree to a deal where the teams are only allowed to show 4 matches at home? Now, yeah, Rangers found a loophole and they're playing 5, absolutely, as the helicopter flies by. But come on. Honestly, one of those things that's holding us back. I mean, you can talk about how the fact it doesn't generate money, but it's like you've got a title fight, you've got an Edinburgh Derby, the second biggest game you can get in the league, and here we are, right? Not being able to, like, broadcast any of it on television for how much you pay. No, it's a joke. It's a yoke. It is an absolute joke. But what's Frank Mcavennie saying about the Glasgow Rangers? He said, let's be honest, Rangers are not in any great shape. Rangers are not a good team. Now, not to be hypocritical, we have sat here for the past couple of months and said that both teams, Old Firm teams, Glasgow teams, are pretty average. So, I mean, I'm not going to 110% disagree with the guy, but I'm going to disagree with the guy. Because the simple fact, I mean, Rangers aren't in any great shape. Regardless of what I think of the players, right? I think turning, like, I mean, it's pretty much a 10-point swing, isn't it? I think overturning that and going on top of the league by a couple of points is great shape for Rangers. I mean, are we a great team? No, but I would say we're a good team. I would. Clement Scott is performing, regardless of what you think of certain players. Clement has absolutely got this Rangers team performing, and to come out and say that we're like that is just utter shite. You know, like, at the end of the day, Celtic, apart from Starfelt and apart from Jota, that's a treble winning team with like 20 odd million spent on it. Maybe we should be looking at Brendan Rodgers not getting a tune out of his players, because, you know, end of the day, we're beginning to get a tune out of the Rangers players as Big Phil Clement. But, you know, at the start of this season, you'd be like, well, Celtic probably still got the better team because they won a treble and you kind of have to back. I think folks need to look at Brendan Rodgers if you're a Celtic fan. I think it's mainly down to Big Brendan why they've had such a bottle job, in my opinion. That's what it is. I mean, any bottling that sort of gap in the fashion that they have, man, and they're lucky to even have as many points as they've got, as this helicopter seems to be right up my arse. But for Frank Mcavennie, he's greeting. I'm no greeting. It's a beautiful Tuesday afternoon here, and it's looking good for Rangers, can't deny it. But I think you've got to look at Brendan Rodgers. You know, that Celtic team, yeah, is the defence with these injuries, with the likes of Carter Vickers and Alistair Johnson, does it look extremely shite? Absolutely, but you can't kid yourselves, and say, well, Alistair Johnson's had a great season. I mean, he's just been as bad as Ralston this season, man. And most Celtic fans would confirm that. You know, it can't be a case of, oh, you know, it's all the players' fault for being pish. Brendan Rodgers has come in and pretty much made every Celtic player well below par. Apart from O'Reilly, none of them were getting talked about in money, big mega money moves. And could that just be the simple case of it is Rodgers' fault, and that's why Celtic went from great to, you know, average, so to speak, and it's why Rangers were getting talked about as the worst ever Rangers side to now talked about as like, oh, we're going to win title 56. I mean, I think to suggest that Rangers aren't a good team and they're not in great shape. You know, bad teams can be in great shapes. You know, I just don't get it. Overturn a 10-point gap. How are Rangers not in great shape? There's one team in piss shape, and it's Celtic.